She ready, we ready. Welcome back, FabuLovelies. How y'all doing? How y'all living, fam? So I'm bringing you another tutorial today. I'm featuring the Hip Dot limited edition Spongebob SquarePants palette. Yes, y'all, we bringing in some Spongebob in this. I was determined to bring y'all some kind of look, some type of way with this palette because it is so much fun. I love the name, I love the theme, I love everything about it, and the pigments in this, y'all. Ooh, child, let me tell you something. Now, y'all know I love me some pop of color, so of course we're doing like 3 different pops of color today, but they all go together, and that's one of the things I love about this palette is when I first looked at it, I was like, all these colors individually, ooh, yes, honey, work. But then I started thinking about like them together, and I was like, how can we get creative with this? How can we make these pop? How can we make it look a little bit themed like SpongeBob? And y'all know what? I think I kind of created the perfect SpongeBob Patrick collaboration look. So we getting into this. This is the palette. This is what it looks like on the front. Got Patrick and SpongeBob on the front. Best friends forever. Now the first shade we're using is Wumbo, and I don't actually know what that is. All the other names in this palette had to do with some kind of SpongeBob, some kind of term, or some kind of something in SpongeBob. However, I don't get the reference to Wumbo, y'all. So if anybody can explain me what the hell that is, I would love you so much, because that's the only one that I just don't get out of this palette as far as names. But it is going to be my transition shade today. It's going to be in the fold of the crease. Just going to pop that in, blend it out, have it be a nice flush of pink. We don't want it to be too pigmented. What we are going to use to get the pigment is the next shade is called Penny Pincher, and it's just a deeper hot pink, a little bit of a red undertone, but pop that right on top of the pink just below where the lightest blend of that is, so it helps the fade process. And just gonna pack that on with a fluffy brush because I didn't want to build this up too much. I just kind of want to gradually build up the pigment, and the best way to do that for me is using a fluffy brush rather than a compact dense brush. This way I can get the this way I can get the product on, blend it out at the same time, and get some pigment. So using some Eye Slay products today to help me slay, you know how we do. And this is an eye paint Eye Slay pigment, and it's basically a liquid eyeshadow, and these are so bright and so pigmented. I'm so trying to learn how to work with them, honestly and truly, but I tell you right now, the pigment on these are so brilliant and so bright and so fun that I just had to bring it to my channel and just work with it. And y'all just gonna have to, you know, kind of work with me on this whole process, because it was the second time I've done this look. First time was the original, and the second time was me showing y'all how I did it, because y'all were interested in how I got the look the first time. So we're just doing it again, and this is how I got this yellow. I did a yellow base first, and then I did the yellow shadow, and that's what really helped pop this yellow out even more, rather than just using the shadow from the Hip Dot palette. So make sure you use some kind of light yellow if you really want that yellow to pop. And y'all know I'm a fan of yellow, so I wanted to make this lit. And I actually mixed the shadows today. I didn't show it, but I used the top yellow and the middle shadow, that middle yellow. And the first one is called Best Shade Ever, and y'all, it is the best shade ever as far as yellow I've come across lately. And then on top of that, mixed in on all that, is Imagination. And those are the two yellows I kind of brought together, because one is kind of like a base shadow, get that set, and then the other one really helps the yellow pop. So those are the colors that I used today. And then to clean it up, I used my Anastasia Beverly Hills Creamy Concealer in 2.5 and used a very small little bit of layer, a little bit at a time on the eyelid area to clean it up, because I have discovered when I use too much concealer on the eyelid, when I've already put it as a base, it gets a little bit chalky, a little bit clumpy, and I ain't not about the clump today. So use a little bit of concealer on the eyelid if you're cleaning it up again, because you don't want to overlayer the product. Then on top of that, I wanted to create a ocean effect, so I went in with the shade Blue Lagoon, which helps create a nice light blue base, not too dark, not too light, but definitely like a pop of blue. And I put that all over the eyelid. I do not set the concealer with any kind of powder first like I usually do. I really wanted the shimmer to be a little bit more metallic and liquid looking, just like the ocean. Y'all know how it is. And I packed it on with a flat concealer brush, something that is pretty easy to use and keep everything in place and precise. And the brush I'm using to detail the yellow to keep it all clean is a brush I've had for years. It's probably one of the first original brushes I've ever had in my collection, and it was just from Amazon. I couldn't tell you what it is because it didn't even have a name. It was just one of those get it all together type of brushes with a bunch of other brushes, but it works for detailing things like this. So y'all wonder where it is and what it comes from. I couldn't tell you. Okay, so lashes and liner today. I used liner from L'Oreal Paris, the super slim liner, because it is amazing going on top of any kind of glitter or shimmer. It will not have it pop through. You're gonna have it all kinds of black and matted out, and I love that about the liner. And then on the lashes, these are just the Ardell's. I couldn't tell you what they are. They're just kind of little wispy. They aren't anything fancy, nothing designer. They just something you can get at your local Sally's or any kind of beauty supply store. I ain't fancy with this, y'all. So we about to go on a mug adventure, y'all. So the first thing I'm using is my Nuetrogena sunscreen and putting that all over certain spots of my face that have extra pigmentation, because we don't need any extra of that. And then for the primer, I'm using the e.l.f. Poreless Primer. Love this stuff. Velvety smooth, delicious. And then for my foundations, y'all, this is where it gets fun and interesting. So as you can see, the first shade I'm using is called Deep Espresso. And normally I use that less, but for some reason I thought I was using the lighter one first. So as you can see, I did the opposite, and the result is poo smear. So I actually, as it got closer to my face, you can see I was just not having it. So I went on top with my Fenty Beauty, and I am the shade number 218. Ooh, don't quote me on that. And Lord have mercy, I can't even find it, so I can't even tell you what the accurate number is, y'all. But if I find out, I'll put it in the description box below. But I had to add it because that coloring was just off. It's still a little bit tan for my liking, but we made it work. Come through, Rihanna, with fixing my problems and my hot mess. I didn't use any concealer today, so we actually jumping right into me setting in my face and doing my contour, which I'm using the blush and contour palette from BH Cosmetics. And as you can see, I already have my setting powder on. This one is from Makeup London Revolution, and it's banana setting powder. And then I'm just using a kind of a bronzy neutral, slightly darker than that already dark foundation to help bring some shape to the face. And I'm using my IT Cosmetics contour brush and just doing all the areas to bring all the face in. If I'm contouring the face, y'all gotta make sure I'm contouring the nose, because sometimes I'll forget and I'll just look all kinds of crazy, and I can never figure out why until I realize, oh girl, you never snatched that nose. You snatched everything else except for that nose, girl. Fix it. Here's that second shade from the blush and contour palette from BH Cosmetics, that deep red, and I'm going to put that on the apples of my cheeks. I forgot what they were called for a second. Y'all about to call them something else. The apples of my cheeks to blend it out real good into the contour, and then using whatever's remaining on the brush for the forehead, chin, and nose to kind of tone down everything and bring it all together. For the highlight, using Carli Bybel limited edition. Y'all know this is my ride or die highlight, and I've actually used it so much that I'm actually dipping into the eyeshadows now as highlight, and I ain't hating, y'all. It still pops like they ain't no tomorrow. Put that all over the highest points of the face. Give a soft blend with a clean brush, and make sure those edges is laid. Anybody want to talk about how laid these edges is? Girl, she learned it. And we just doing some Niagara Falls of setting spray. This is also Makeup Revolution hyaluronic acid setting spray. I douse myself in this because I don't want my makeup to move, and that's just what I've been doing lately, and it's actually made my skin look a lot, I don't know, it just makes my skin look so much better. And then another espresso from the Tarte lip paint, and then also Gerard Cosmetics Aphrodite, both matte lips, and that's done. And speaking of done, honey, we finished, and this is the final look. I hope y'all enjoyed watching, and you know, if you weren't entertained by this, go watch yourself some SpongeBob and Patrick. You'll be entertained with that, and then come back and watch this, and you can do your makeup just like this. So this is what I keep up with, y'all. I hope you enjoyed watching. I think it's popping, a little pop of color, a little bit of sultry, and you know what? Stay beautiful inside and out. As I always say, y'all beautiful inside and out. Thank you for returning. Don't forget to subscribe. Much love.